What is up, everyone? Welcome to Sitting with Sean, episode number 36. Today, I have a very special guest. It's the last recording of the year. Toby, what's up, Toby? How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. What's up?
Not much, man. Yeah, it's early in the morning. I don't want to be awake.
Me either. Me either, man.
Yeah, we were just talking before this, man, and I was like, man, I stayed up till like 4:30 playing Minecraft. I was like, damn, man. Oh, shit. So, Toby, would you guys like to give a formal introduction of yourself?
Sure. My name's Toby. I'm 45 years old. Been out of prison and out of that past lifestyle for about 3 years now.
Nice.
I live in Cincinnati right now. Well, since I got out of prison. I got out October 2019. Had to fight Alaska for a few months because they didn't want to let me go. They loved having their boot on my neck. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I had support out here, and thank God I was able to get out here, away from that shit.
Yeah. Alaska court system is pretty rough. The justice system is pretty rough.
Vicious, the worst that I've ever experienced, and I've experienced the court system in many different states.
Yeah. I can only speak for myself, man. I never had any run-ins with the law or any of that, and when I went in for my pre-trial, pre-trial hearing, they're like, he's done this and this is a pattern of his life, and I'm like, excuse the fuck out of me. Pattern? What? Just a year ago I was in the army. How is this a pattern? Come on, calm down, y'all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely understand, man. And it's pretty crazy. Are you a football fan?
I like football. I like the game, but I don't really have like a team or anything.
Yeah, that's how I am, man. I came down here to visit my dad in West Virginia, and he threw on football, and I was like, fuck, I haven't watched football in years. Time to pay attention, I guess.
Yeah, I miss playing it. I played it, you know what I'm saying, in high school, and times where I always got kicked off the team and shit for being too violent.
Hey, yeah, I can understand that. What's the weather like up in Cincinnati right now?
Man, it's crazy warm right now. I can't believe it. I mean, last week it was a vicious blizzard, like very rare how cold and shit for out here. It was like negative 20, and now it's almost 60 degrees.
Woo! Negative 20. You
Yeah,
haven't felt those temperatures since Alaska, huh?
yep, yeah.
Good
But
God.
I just left. I was out in Louisville working out there. I'm an iron worker, so I go wherever the work is. But yeah, it was the same temperature out there. But Ohio's the craziest weather that I've ever experienced. I mean, this is a perfect example. Last week it was negative, whatever, and now it's 60 degrees.
I know when I left Anchorage on December 13th, we had gotten 3 feet of snow and 2 snowfalls. And then as I was leaving, it was snowing again. And I think they accumulated another like 2 or 3 feet.
Yep, yeah, I seen that. I'm in touch with a lot of people still out there.
Yeah,
And I seen that.
we have some friends in common.
Yeah, yep,
We got some
yep,
friends in common. That's pretty awesome, man.
yeah.
So let's get into it. What was it like in your active addiction for you?
Oh man, looking back on it, oh man, it's just so crazy looking back on it, like now, because I never thought that I would fall out of love with it. Even the lowest points, just being just so pathetically lost and broke and beaten down and alone, and I still just love sticking that needle in my fucking arm and feeling that high just overcome me, and I mean, I was so bad. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, other addicts didn't even want to get high with me because I would push them to use like I used, and I would use to the point where I'd do a syrup shot to where I hit the ground and my vision and hearing go away for who knows how long. And somehow I come out of it and, shaking on the ground, and that's what I thought was fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad, pretty crazy, but eventually I got tired of it.
Yeah.
I got tired of shit, man. I mean, I just doing time mostly. It's just
Yeah.
so crazy, man. I still can't believe that I really genuinely lost interest in it.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, I was madly in love with it.
No,
And
I can agree. I love drinking, man. That was my thing. My I didn't fuck with like hard drugs or whatever, but like alcohol was my thing, and I never thought in a million years I would give it up.
yeah,
I look back now and I was like, this is the best fucking move I've ever made in my life, but
yeah,
never thought that I would give it up.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy, man. All the chaos that went with it. I mean, I mean, I loved it. All the high speed chases, all the stick ups, I mean, everything. It just, I was a fucking madman, and every day just on the brink of death, and it's sad because I was welcoming it. Like I was like, you know, okay, I'm probably gonna go out today, just in something, a shootout or OD or something, because the things that I was doing was, man, it's just God looking back on it. It's been a while since I really like, because I've been out of that shit for a few years now, and I don't really talk to anybody about the stuff. I don't go to meetings or anything like that. I don't really have any friends out here. I don't know, man. It's just thinking back on it. It's been a while since I really thought about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just, it's a trip taking myself back there. Just, it's just so crazy, man. Even everybody that knew me back then, you know, still can't believe that I switched it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy that you did. I really am. You become a better person when you get off that shit. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I started using at such a young age that I never really even like knew who I was, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
I had a good heart. I always had a good heart. I didn't hurt innocent people and shit like that. I didn't go out there but if you were in the game, what I considered a non-civilian, then you were free game, you know what I'm saying? But I made a huge effort to not include civilians in my bullshit, you know what I'm saying?
Why was that?
Why was that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't I don't I care about people. I always have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's right if you're not in the game to be subject to, the shit that we do.
Yeah. You
You
don't
know what
hurt
I'm saying?
innocent bystanders.
Absolutely not. Nope. Never have, never. I mean, there has been times where my actions sure affected civilians but I always tried to make an effort not to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was it like that first time that you did anything that you got into the game? What was it like for you?
Oh, man. Um, I felt alive. Like I remember just being, I think I was like 11 or something, and getting high and um, doing a fucking armed robbery, sticking up a little 7-Eleven. I thought I was a little badass. I thought I felt grown up, you know what I'm saying? But it's like everything around me, that's what I looked up to, that's all I saw.
Hmm.
So it's like I can remember feeling pumped up, like now I'm a man, you know what I mean? Punk ass little
Yeah.
kid, but that's how I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. We become the product of our environment a lot of times. I made shit when I was growing up. I was a good Christian boy. I was a good Christian boy. I always went to church every Sunday. I prayed every day. I read the Bible every day, all that shit. And then like I made that vow to myself because my dad, he was in some shit, and I looked at myself. I said, I'm never gonna do that. Never gonna smoke, drink, or do drugs. And by the age of 18, I broke all that shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, um, when I got into my active addiction, it was like boom, instant hook, and fucking, I felt invisible, or not invisible, but invincible, and I felt like people seen me for the first time, right? And I don't know if you experienced that either, but like for me, I felt like invincible, like you can't fucking touch me, and I also felt like people seeing me. That wasn't always a good thing though.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, looking back on it, like now I'm wise enough to really like recognize, even though obviously I didn't know what the fuck was going on then, but my mom left when I was 2 years old, so I craved attention from women. So, you know, um, I was able to get that attention from females, acting the way that I was acting, but it was from unhealthy women, of course, but still, I think that's one of the big things too. The girls come with the lifestyle.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I'm assuming that you're not originally from Alaska. What brought
No,
you up to Alaska?
oh man. Well, so I just got done doing 10 years in Pennsylvania. Um, I got out. I was a personal trainer, and um, I was doing good for about a month and a half, and I got um, propositioned by two of my female clients that I was training at the same time to have a threesome with them. So I did that, and they offered me a ridiculous amount of money. And so the next day, one of them called me up and was like, "Hey, we told a couple of our friends about you. They want the same deal." So like, cool, give them my number. So without even trying, I tapped into this subculture, these filthy rich, horny women out there in Philly.
Hmm.
And well, there was this one woman in particular that kept saying, I'll give you 5 grand a week. Don't mess with nobody else. So, but that was nothing compared to what I was making. So I just kept blowing her off. Well, we got together. I was still an assistant coach for this high school track and field team. So she knew I had access to this school. So she's like, in the middle of the night, let's get together in one of these classrooms, do some role playing, naughty teacher seduce the student type shit. I was
Hmm.
like, all right. So we get together in one of the classrooms, and we did our thing, you know what I'm saying? And she brought it up again. So there's this map of the United States on this classroom wall, real big. And I put my finger on Philadelphia and just went all the way across the country. And I said, you get a job. And I didn't even pronounce it right, but it was Kotzebue.
Hmm.
I said, but I pronounced it some other way. I was like, you get a job in Kotzebue, Alaska. I'll take you up on the offer. So to make a long story short, she ended up getting a freaking job out there with the children's home as a children's therapist. 2.5 weeks later, I'm on a freaking plane to freaking Alaska. So I'm like, whatever. Where I just did all this time. Where's my sense of adventurism? I'll go out there real quick and see some people living in igloos and come back to Philly. Well, I went out there and was shocked. I mean, going from freaking skyscrapers to Kotzebue, the village. I mean,
Yeah.
I was out there for 6 months, just getting high out of my mind, going to Anchorage to get dope, and coming to back to the village, and just getting high nonstop. I mean, 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? And finally, I couldn't take it anymore in that village, and I was messing around with this Eskimo chick out there who I have a kid with right now. And I told both of them, "Hey, I'm the first plane that's out of here. Wherever it's going, that's where I'm going." I ended up going to Fairbanks. Well, the Eskimo chick came with me, and she never got high like I did. You know what I'm saying? She ended up in the psych ward, the hospital, like 4 times. Um, just out of our minds. Ended up hitchhiking to Anchorage. Went through so much money. I mean, ridiculous amounts of money. Eventually, that ran out, and the prices out there were, I mean, in 2000, the end of 2000, let me see, 2009 is when I went to Anchorage, and the price for dope then was crazy high. So I started hustling, and I started doing anything and everything to feed my habit. And I was real surprised how um, vicious Anchorage was. Philly's very bad, but Anchorage is like, I was really surprised how crazy it was. How crazy it is still.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, just fucking zombies, just everybody on dope.
Hmm.
And there's no fucking like code of conduct out there. Like in the lower 48, there's like an unspoken rules. You know what I'm saying, of the game, where if you do this, you know what's coming. But in Anchorage, it's free game. I mean, you know, people would be like, "Oh, don't buy dope from him. He's a rat." What the fuck are you talking about? He's a rat. How can somebody even be out here to even be called a rat? It's crazy out there, man. I mean, it's just like reminds me of a fucking dog eating its vomit and chasing its tail. That's what Anchorage is.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in jail, man, I met some hard, some people that were in the game and were still in the game, hadn't even learned their lesson, and they weren't ready for it. And it blew me away, like the levels that people would go to, to run shit, because like that was a lifestyle that I was never privy to. I never really understood, why people would, operate the way that they did. But I was sick, and I'm calling other people sick. You know what I mean? Like that shit didn't make sense to me.
Oh yeah, me too, man. I mean, yeah, totally. I look back on that shit too, fucking thinking I'm, you know, better than you because I'm living by, what I thought was a code to be proud of, which it was when it comes to that being in the game. But still, I was just pathetic, man. I mean, when I look back on it, like what my morals and values are now, and what I'm proud to be as a man now, looking back the way that I behaved and the way that I was, disgusts me.
What led you to that point where you're like, it's too much. I have to change.
Well, I mean, I'm. It was my last sentence, my last bid in Seward in Spring Creek, and I mean, 80% of the time that I was in Alaska, I was incarcerated. I'd only make it a couple months out there on the street before something happened, and I'm locked back up, and it's just the cycle kept repeating itself. I'd get out and I don't know anybody except people that I knew from prison or the streets, and I just got, man, this last bid, I'm freaking whatever, in my 40s, early 40s, and I'm in the hole. I just beat somebody up in the law library, and I'm just no money on my books, nobody that I can call, nobody that I can write, you know, just in this hellhole, just like, God, man, do I want to do this for fucking ever? it just every sound, everything around me made me so sick to my stomach. I was so disgusted with it that I just made a decision that I don't know how, but I'm done with this shit. And so I hustled up $50. Somehow I came up with $50 and I put I heard about this website called Write a Prisoner. And you could put one picture and 250 words about yourself on this website. And, different people get on this website for different reasons. And if they see your picture or whatever you wrote about yourself, then they might decide to write you. And man, I got a response from this woman, this little quick little few sentences with a picture, came with a picture, and she was beautiful. I thought, okay, this is a catfish for sure, because I got some real fucking weirdos. I got some responses for some real freaks. You know what I mean? Some strange motherfuckers that, I mean, but anyway, so I was like, all right, whatever, man, I'll give it a chance. And back in the hole, it's real hard to get the phone, because they got to wheel it on a dolly and then open your pie slot, put the phone, you got to like, there's no room to sit down or stand up. You got to like bend over and
Hmm.
put your face up against the fucking, and those guards don't like to give you the phone, especially me, because I had funk with them. They hated me and I hated them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I had big drama with the correctional officers. And but anyway, so I was able to make a phone call and she answered, and it was a fucking miracle, man. It was like instant chemistry.
Hmm.
I mean, just hearing her voice and just talking to her like gave me this sense of security and hope. and and within a couple of days we were both in love. And I know that sounds insane. Like, she didn't get on there for any romantic purposes. She was doing travel and healthcare all over the country, and she got beaten up by some dude that she dated, that she met online, and she was looking for answers, from a different area. You know what I'm saying? So she went on this website thinking maybe she could find somebody incarcerated, because she knew that this dude had been incarcerated for, periods of his life and had addiction problems and shit like that. So, I mean, we were both reluctant to even talk about our feelings, because I know if I was her, if some dude in prison is telling me that he's got feelings for her, I'd, I'd be thinking, okay, he's got some hidden agenda or something. Something's wrong with him. People
Yeah.
don't fall in love in fucking 3 days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And her on the other side too. But anyway, so I told her how I was feeling. She said, yeah, she's feeling it too. So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna fly out there and visit you. I got to see if this is really what it is. So I'm not going to invest time into some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she flew out to visit me, and I made her a little ring out of string out of my boxers and socks, and proposed to her in the visiting room, and instant magic, man. And we built a relationship through phone calls and her flying out to visit me every few months, and letters. And she was, man, it was crazy. And once she came into my life, that solidified everything. That, like, it's so crazy because God brought her into my life at the exact time when I was truly tired. Like, if it would have happened the bid before, I wouldn't have been ready yet.
Yeah.
I would have fucked it up. It's so spooky how everything worked out the way it did. That's why this made me a true believer in God. This whole situation, how I got out of it all, and how my heart changed and everything, and her coming into my life. And, when I put in for, it's called an interstate compact to try to parole out of state. I put in the paperwork when I was getting released, before I was getting released, and they denied it. You know, Man, and there's the probation and parole out there in Alaska is so vicious, bro. I mean, it is so corrupt. And when I got out, and, she got to see that I wasn't, like taking the victim stance or being narcissistic. She got to see with her own eyes how vicious they were, tossing my apartment. I mean, just screaming at me, that I wanted to get out of the state and go to where I have support.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we had to, my wife, she's my wife now. She had a hotel room for a week. When I got out, had everything set up. We got married the day that I got released, the day after I got released. So now we're married. Now we put in the paperwork. My wife had to go over the whole probation and parole's head to somewhere higher up because they refused to file the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And once it was filed above their heads, and my PO screamed at me about it, and she was pissed, man. But I got a job driving tow truck, and it's crazy. You can Google tow truck driver almost getting killed Christmas Day, 2019, and you'll see this YouTube video of me almost getting killed inches away.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see it. It's right on the Seward Highway. But anyways, I was driving tow truck like 16 hours a day. I didn't talk to anybody except one other dude that had his shit together that got out a few months before me. But I didn't mess with nobody. I didn't talk with anybody. All I did was go to work, go back to my apartment, go to sleep, and go back to work. And I was able to stay out of trouble. You know, I didn't relapse. I didn't get high on nothing. But Suboxone, that was a huge help. I'm a huge advocate for Suboxone. I still take Suboxone as prescribed.
Yeah.
That Suboxone is a game changer for me. It was. Whatever's, that shit like levels me out so good. Like it, whatever it does, it's a fucking miracle, and I'm very thankful for it. That Suboxone has helped me out so much, and it
Yeah.
still does. I think.
Yeah, so when I was when I first heard about Suboxone, like I said, I was never like I what I do now is not what I used to do, and I was in jail, and somebody came by and said, "Hey, you want to do subs?" And I was like, "The fuck is that?" But no, I'm not. I don't want to. But what is that? And
Right.
I started seeing guys using it to get high in jail while they're in jail. And then I got out and I heard about it and I heard what people were saying about it and I was like, nah, man, like, you ain't sober. And then my best friend comes along and I've known this guy, shit, since 2008, 2009. Him and I go way back. And he's like, yeah, I used to be really bad into dope and now I take Suboxone. I take it as subscribed. And it's really changed my life, and that from his testimony for what it did for him, it really changed my outlook on MAT completely.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. My wife was very concerned when I told her about it, and I told her about it before I got out because I was using it in prison too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I was able to stay off the hard shit in prison also by taking the Suboxone. But and she went with me to the doctor's appointment so the doctor can talk to her and tell her the benefits of this and and so she was able to go to all my appointments with me before she came back to Ohio, and that made her feel a lot better, because there's a lot of thoughts or whatever, a lot of on Suboxone is people, oh, you're just replacing one addiction for another, and I don't know, maybe some people are, I don't know, but it does, like, it's scientifically factual that it does heal all the stuff, like all the things that I fucking fried in my brain from constantly using dope for so many years, like my pleasure centers and the way shit fucking is supposed to happen doesn't, like, it heals that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to talk about it like a fucking doctor, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It repairs all the shit that's broken.
Yeah, and it fucking really does level me out, man. Like, and I mean, I never, ever in my wildest dreams would have ever thought that I wouldn't, like, I really wouldn't be interested in fucking getting high anymore. I
Yeah.
thought if I do ever do sober up, I'm gonna have to do it from the muscle and just be strong and just fight the urge. I thought that's how I was gonna have to be, but man, God took it away and brought this woman in my life at the perfect time, and I'm still struggling. Now I've been out for 3 years now, and I still am institutionalized.
Yeah.
Like my wife constantly has to, like, sometimes, we have a little bit of heated conversations because the way I think about things, the way but it's just for so many fucking years. I never even had a whole year on the street ever since I was 9 years old until right now.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard going from institutions to being free, and then kind of working around society and being like a productive member of society at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. And even when I did get out of prison, I was still in an institution in my eyes because I was in my own in prison. I was
Yeah.
in my own fucking, what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. So, what today keeps you clean and sober? What are some of the thoughts, some of the activities that you do that keep you from using?
um, I work a lot. I work as much as I can usually. I'm in the Iron Workers Union, and I love my job. It's real sketchy. It's real dangerous. Um, I love going to work. Um, you know, plus my wife being genuinely being my best friend is huge because I never get tired of hanging out with her. Like I love chilling with her. So, and I got my dogs. I got three dogs that are my world, and my female, she's pregnant right now. She's about to have a C-section on the fourth because she's an English bulldog. It's
Mhm.
crazy, man. I'm gonna have to take off work for like a month and take care of these puppies. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's gonna be like $3,700 just for the C-section, and like you gotta. It's crazy what goes into these English bulldog puppies to make sure that they survive. But anyways, my dogs, I'm hella extra with them. I love them. People say I'm a bit ridiculous with my dogs, but I don't give a shit, man. I fucking love them.
Yeah, yeah, it gives you a sense of purpose, right?
Yeah, they're like my kids.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
nice. Yeah, yeah. How
that's
many
pretty
kids
much
you got?
what I got. Three. You mean my dogs?
No, no. I mean dogs, kids, same thing.
Well, I got three dogs, but I got an 11-year-old in Alaska that. I mean, we never took a blood test or anything, but I'm pretty sure he's mine. He looked like me when he was littler, but he's with his mom, and I know they love him. So he's with his mom's family. They're in UPEC. They're from Point Hope originally. Grew up in Kotzebue, but they're living in Anchorage right now. But they're good. Like I don't know how to put it. Like they're a close family. You know what I'm saying? Like they love each other. I know they love each other. So I know he's in good hands. He's got my phone number. Sometimes he calls me up. He knows I love him and he knows why I left Alaska. I'm straight up with him about
Yeah,
everything. I don't hold no punches. He knows what's up, and he knows I'm here if he ever wants to talk or if he needs anything.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Alaska's a completely different environment, not just in the game, but like the physical aspect of being there. You have to be able to survive in order to live there, and that's super hard to do.
Yep. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope his mom lets him. I hope his mom lets him come out here someday because So many people in Alaska that haven't been to the lower 48 have no idea what it's like. Like, they can't even imagine what an amusement park looks like
Yeah.
or what a real skyscraper looks like,
Yeah.
or all the cool ass shit out here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I forgot all that stuff, man. Like when I got up to Alaska back in 2017, that everything else faded away. I don't even know how that happens, but like everything else from before then faded away, and I forgot everything. I forgot what it was like to smell that fresh cut grass in the country. I forgot what it was like to be in a real traffic jam,
yeah,
all that crazy shit, and I um, came back home to West Virginia last year in July, and it was like peaceful, which is
yeah.
weird. Like up in Anchorage, dude, there's no peace. It's hard to find peace.
Oh man, for sure.
But you come back, you step away from that environment, and it's like all that shit is shedded away, and it's like, what the hell? And that's why I had to come back this time, is I needed to recenter and refocus and find that peace. And I definitely found it. Is
Good.
very yeah, dude. Whew,
Thank
it was
God.
madness. Yeah, it was madness, man. I was wrapped up in my own head for a while there, and I came back home and I started recentering, refocusing, getting back into the spirituality of things and
Good.
spirituality of life, and it changed, you know.
Yeah, there's 100% a curse over that state, but especially over Anchorage. I mean,
Yeah,
you can feel it, man. If you're like aware to the spiritual, I'm telling you, it's an evil place, bro.
yeah,
It's a, man, I'm telling you, man.
yeah.
Another cool thing that I forgot to tell you about is, there was like the street that I live on, I started, like when it snows and shit like that, I'll go down the street and ask people if they need me to shovel the driveway or whatever, mow their lawns and shit like that. So there's people on my street that, like older people and stuff like that, that I help out. And
Hmm.
there was this one dude that, invited me to this, like, men's, uh, Bible study, but it's not like we don't get the Bible out and study verses or anything like that. We just get together, on Saturday mornings and just talk about what God has done in our life this past week.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And talk about if there's anything that we're struggling with or whatever. And maybe some of the other fellas in the group can give some insight or some support or whatever. So that's cool that I got that too. You know what I'm saying? I've, I've opened up with those guys, with stuff that I haven't talked to anybody except my wife about.
Yeah.
So it's good to
How,
know that I got those guys. You know what I'm saying?
how hard was it to open up that first time and like really talk about the shit that bothered you?
Real hard. It was
Yeah.
real hard for me. I mean, I was surprised that I was able to do it, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it, man. I'm fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Especially around the stigma of being a man, right? Like you're a man, suck it the fuck up. You ain't got no problems, or if you have problems, shove them down. You got to worry about it. And that's the hard part is like once you I mean, I know for myself is once I got into recovery and I started, working my program or whatever, like opening up that first time, it was like foreign. Like I'd always been like, oh, I talk about all my problems, but I never talked about the real ones. I always talked about the surface ones, like money, relationship problems, all that shit. But the things that really fucked with me
Yeah.
on a daily basis, sometimes a minute basis, that really was the hardest part about it. Was that the same for you?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And it's
Yeah.
still hard. It's still hard. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Absolutely. Yeah. So, uh, if there was any like advice or suggestion that you would give to somebody that was struggling with with their substance of choice, or they wanted to get clean, what would you give to them?
um, I would say try to find somebody that has somehow found a way to get away, clean up, somebody that you can relate to that can give you some real advice on how they got out of it, you know, and and just let go and open up to them and let them know what's up. If you really want to, that's providing, of course, that you really want to stop, or you want to get clean, because that's, if you really don't want to get clean, then it's just going to be a waste of time,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So, last question before we wrap it up. New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve now. We're looking into 2023. What do you project your next year to look like for you?
Oh man. I know what I want it to look like, and so I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to look like. I want to be more financially stable, I'd like to repair some issues with my wife, or get back to the trust that we had at the beginning of our relationship, because I've behaved in some ways, to where she's lost some trust in me, you know what I'm saying? Where, because I started, being dishonest about certain things, but not big things, but still it's big if you look at it. I mean, any little dishonesty stuff, it's not healthy. So I want our relationship to be solid, like it was, last year, at the beginning. So that's what I project. And I really want to, I would love to be able to start running some jobs with my work, like at least a foreman, but I would like to be a superintendent. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to be able to be able to, have a crew of guys that I'm the one that's telling everybody, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. And I want a new truck. I'm gonna get me a good beefed up, jacked up fucking truck.
What kind of truck?
And I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure, but I want an old school truck. Kind of like a box Chevy or an old Ford Bronco. Either one of those, but something real jacked up and mean, and and I would like to. I'm supposed to be off probation 2024. I was supposed, they doctored the paperwork. I was supposed to be off actually 2021. But I'm hoping that I can get off paper this next year, because I haven't had any violations. But I am fighting a couple cases right now. I'm out on bail, and it's bullshit, It really is some bullshit. My past coming up to haunt me, Some bullshit happened that this is like probably one of the only times ever that I was arrested for something that I really didn't do. Like I really am innocent, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story in and of itself. So I'm praying about that. Hopefully I can get out from underneath the grips of probation and parole, and keep doing big things out here in society, man, because I do a lot of good, and another thing that I really want to get into, that I'm going to make a huge active effort to get into, is I want to get into helping troubled youth.
That's huge.
Yeah, I would love to get into, and if I could reach some young bucks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, that even get me teary eyed right now, even thinking about it. If I could reach those youngsters so they don't have to go through the shit that I did, boy, that would make me feel so good.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. I was propositioned with a job to work with youth, and man, I can't do it. It's not that I can't or that I don't want to. It's like I don't know how to connect with the generation that is now versus when I mean if generations were the same and we're nothing really changed in society, I'd be able to connect better with them. And I have a friend that does that now, and he's like, dude, it's super hard. I
I
connect
bet.
better with I connect better with people that are getting out of that lifestyle into a recovery, or they have some long-term recovery behind them, not kids that are like getting into it. And I respect anybody who does that because I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's super hard. It's super
Yeah.
hard to do.
I probably don't even have any idea what I'd be getting into, but, I'd like to give it a try. Even if I could save one kid's life,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I don't
Yeah.
know. I just know that looking back when I was, a young buck, and if I would have seen somebody the way that I look and the way that I can relate, who knows? Maybe I would have been able to take pride in some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Who
Absolutely.
knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to try it
Yeah.
though.
Absolutely. All right, Toby. I want to thank you for being here for this about 50 minutes, man. I really appreciate you being here and hanging out with me, man, on New Year's Eve. I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because it's a day to relax,
Yeah.
day to chill and hang out. You got to work again this week, don't you?
No, this is my only day, honestly, that I have off. Yeah, I got to work, but I only got 3 days that I can work, and then on the fourth, my English bulldog has that C-section, and then
Mm.
literally, I got to stay with the puppies, like right next to them, and then the mom has to be not in there, but every 2 hours, like clockwork, you have to put the mom with the puppies every 2 hours, like 24 hours a day, nonstop. Every 2 hours, put the mom with the puppies, put her on her side so that they can feed, and then make sure they feed. And then I got to weigh each puppy,
Mm.
make sure that they're gaining a tenth of an ounce every 12 hours. And
That is
this
work.
goes on for weeks.
That is work. That's like a job.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna enjoy my day to just relax, man. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing shit. I'm just chilling.
Nice. Yeah, Dad's got dinner cooking right now. I
Oh
woke up
man,
at
awesome, man.
yeah. I woke up at like 9 something. I was like, oh, it smells so good, but I'm not hungry yet. So
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I just
yeah,
wanted to tell you that I respect your sobriety and I respect the things that you're overcoming. And I'm really glad that that we were able to connect, my man.
absolutely. Yeah, this has been a long time coming, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right, guys. So I want to thank you guys for sitting with us and hanging out with us, and you guys are probably going to be seeing this on the 2nd. And so, Happy New Year! Welcome to the
Happy
New
New Year.
Year, and thank you guys for being here and hanging out. Much love, y'all. Until
All right.
next time.